Since 1988, both Hot Springs and Garland County have been enjoying significant prosperity. Indeed, we are now living in the golden age of Hot Springs. In these 30 years, there have been billions of dollars of private and public investment in our community. This includes the establishment of new businesses, building of over 100 miles of new 4-lane highways, and construction of almost 10,000 new homes throughout Garland County. We recently surveyed community leaders to identify the top 10 big projects that have taken place in Hot Springs in the last 30 years. Let's take a quick look at these top 10 major projects. The last 30 years, our local highways have been vastly improved, and in 2016, voters approved a $50 million bond issue to connect the Martin Luther King Expressway almost all the way to Hot Springs Village. And right now, Highway 70 East to Benton is currently being rebuilt as a 4-lane in a $90 million project.
We can count ourselves very lucky for the amount of money that the Highway Department has spent in Garland County and Hot Springs. It's $500 million that we have spent for construction and reconstruction of our 4-lane highway system around Garland County and Hot Springs.
Hot Springs Village has grown from 6,600 residents in 1988 to over 14,000 residents today. In the last 30 years, over 7,000 new homes have been built in the village. Hot Springs Village is now one of the largest private gated communities in America.
Hot Springs Village is very unique. It is as large as, geographically, as San Francisco. It may be a little bit larger. Hot Springs Village has just grown so much in the last 30 years. When I started my business there in late 1977, there was approximately 2,750 people there. It grew to about 6,300 people by 1990, and its present population is 14,000. The amenities are just staggering. They have 12 lakes, 8 golf courses, 13 tennis courts, and numerous other amenities. The community in itself has a dynamic personality that you won't find in many places. I can't say enough about Hot Springs Village. It's a great community.
Since 1988, Hot Springs has become a regional center of healthcare excellence. The new National Park Hospital was built in the mid-1980s at a cost of over $40 million, and the new National Park Heart Hospital expansion, costing over $30 million, was just completed last year. CHI St. Vincent's, the former St. Joseph's, was built at a cost of over $120 million in 1992. There are now over 300 physicians in Hot Springs providing outstanding health care to the citizens of both Garland County and also much of western Arkansas.
You know, for a city that is 35,000, we actually have 2 regional medical centers. Unheard of for a town that size to have 2 first-class medical centers. We have over 300 doctors, not counting nurse practitioners and mid-level providers. They specialize in all the major things you would think of, from oncology, cardiac, ortho, urology, all of them excellent. We have caregivers in all specialties in both those hospitals. Both of them have great cancer centers. One of them has a brand new cardiac center, and both hospitals have excellent health care. 2 heart surgeons here. Now we have a 3rd hospital, which is called Levi Hospital, that specializes in arthritic clinics. It does a lot of rehabilitation. It's an excellent place. They do sports medicine. They have pools where you can swim in thermal waters. Excellent facility that obviously in a retirement community is well and just welcomed tremendously. So when it comes to health care, it's here.
Hot Springs has become a major regional retail center. Our market area extends over 150 miles to the south and west and north, and includes over 250,000 consumers. The success of our regional shopping centers is evidenced by the traffic jams every weekend as thousands of consumers from all over western Arkansas travel to Hot Springs for their retail and automobile purchases. The business community has met this demand with impressive new retail shopping centers, including the Cornerstone and Fairgrounds Crossing shopping centers. And thanks to the effort of the Metro Partnership, Mid-America Industrial Park is now completely sold out.
Having 3 million visitors per year coming to our community is a significant benefit. It is the reason why when business come to this market to look for retail locations, Hot Springs has a vibrancy and an energy that other towns its size do not have. We definitely have the it factor in Hot Springs.
Since 1988, Hot Springs has added enormous convention and tourism facilities. The new Hot Springs Convention Center was built at a cost of $34 million in 1995. The $28 million Bank of the Ozark Arena was added several years later. The new Embassy Suites Hotel is just one of a dozen new hotels catering to the needs of our visitors.
We have all these communities that are always reinventing themselves, but Hot Springs hasn't had to do that. We've just built on what we've had. We had the convention auditorium. The citizens decided to expand it, expanded the convention center once, not only once, came back and added the arena, and then paid all of it off 7 years early. We have a great facility, plus we have the product to match. People want to meet here. People that come here realize that their meeting attendance will be better than it is anywhere else.
Historic downtown is back. Dozens of new businesses have opened and historic buildings have been rehabbed. For example, the Waters Hotel just opened last year after a $6 million investment.
The biggest problem we have in selling is people just can't believe everything we have in this small community. You know, not only do we have over 3,000 hotel rooms, we have 3,300 to be exact, and that's just in the city. That's not counting condos and second homes. So we have that. We have the casino. We have world-class horse racing. We have the award-winning Mid-America Science Museum, which is the largest hands-on museum of its kind in Arkansas. We also have Magic Springs, an amusement and water park that attracts a variety of concerts throughout the summer. We have natural beauty. We have a downtown that's just emerging and coming back into what it once was and it will be again. So I mean, we've got all this working together. All age spectrums can find something to do right here in Hot Springs.
Oaklawn Jockey Club has added over $60 million in new gaming facilities. In addition, Oaklawn and the Sella family generously provided over $7 million to the Oaklawn Foundation to support community programs, including scholarship for college students and programs for the elderly.
We've had horse racing forever, almost forever. You know, 1905, it's been great. You know, they've improved their product. They went to simulcasting and then instant racing. And now all of a sudden we've got not only a casino, but we've got a first-class casino with some of the best guest service you've ever seen.
In 1992, Hot Springs successfully competed to be the site for the new Arkansas School for Mathematics, Sciences, and the Arts. Also, our public schools have benefited from the major expansions, including new facilities at Lake Hamilton, Lakeside, and the current $50 million expansion that's underway in the Hot Springs school system. National Park College expanded its program, and in 2016, Henderson State University and National Park College have now created a joint project at the old Landmark building. This is a project where Henderson State University now has a campus in Hot Springs, and both Henderson State University and National Park College offer classes through this facility.
In higher education, it's getting more and more expensive. There's fewer tax dollars, so more of the burden's being shifted to the students and their parents. And we're real fortunate in Hot Springs to have two affordable opportunities for our students in National Park College, and in the relationship our college has formed with Henderson, you can now get an undergraduate or a graduate degree here in Hot Springs without leaving home. So it's quality education, but it's an affordable price.
In 1988, the National Park Service opened the renovated Fordyce Bathhouse to serve as the new $6 million Park Visitor Center. This in turn led to the renovation and leasing of 7 of the 8 bathhouses at a cost of over $25 million. 7 of the 8 bathhouses are now leased. Adaptive uses for these historic buildings include spas, a brewery, traditional bathing, and even a bed and breakfast hotel, thanks to our Mayor Pat and his wife Ellen McKay. Thanks to the vision and generosity of Mrs. Verna Garvin, Hot Springs now has a world-class botanical garden located on over 300 acres on the shore of Lake Hamilton. Additionally, generous donors including John, Ed, and Isabel Anthony donated funds for the construction of the Anthony Chapel.
Well, it's so unique. I mean, it's almost 300 acres of land, 4.5 miles of shoreland on Lake Hamilton. It's just something no one else has, and she was so kind to give it to us. But then the community has really picked it up where she left off, and we've had people contribute. The Anthony family put in that beautiful chapel where they have weddings and musical performances. We have the Evans Children's Garden. They're building a wonderful new tree house out there that kids are gonna love, and there's just, you could go on and on naming all the people locally that have supported that garden. And in tourism, the name of the game is keeping your product fresh and keeping your product different from what the guy down the road has, and that's certainly how we do it. There's always something new going on. We've got world-class Christmas lights, the tulip show, the daffodils in the spring. They do a great job.
The true serendipity of the last 30 years has been the explosive growth of the local arts community. This includes downtown galleries, the Documentary Film Festival, and the Hot Springs Music Festival.
I think it all rolls back into that quality of life and our overall product that we have to offer to people that want to live here and visitors that want to come and see us.
The Hot Springs economy is now built on a solid economic foundation of tourism, retirement, and small industry.
You know, there's an old saying that success has many fathers and failure's an orphan. But if you look back over the last 30 years at all of the good things that have happened in our community, the common element that you find in each one of them is this Chamber of Commerce.
We've been very fortunate to have great leadership over the years, and that has come in the form of our city mayor, our city manager, and our board of directors. And on the county side with our county judge and our justices of the peace. With Visit Hot Springs, Steve Harrison has done a magnificent job of bringing travelers and tourists to town each year. 50 for the Future has been a fixture in the community, promoting much of the progress we've made over the years. We have our national park, and of course we have our Chamber of Commerce and the economic development arm of our chamber, which is the Hot Springs Metro Partnership. We've all done great things together over the years when we've marched in step, and the synergy of these organizations working together has just been off the charts. We're so grateful for the Hot Springs that we have today. We've always had a rich history here in Hot Springs. Eric and I grew up here and can attest to that. But rather than rest on the laurels and regale you with tales of the past, we've created new stories and new promise going forward. You don't have to be a native to believe in Hot Springs. We're surrounded with people who've moved here, fallen in love with Hot Springs, and have chosen to make it home. And we're all better because of that.
Aren't we lucky? There are people all over America that work hard throughout the year to save enough money to take their vacations in Hot Springs. And we get to live here every day. Aren't we lucky?
We love Hot Springs. Hot Springs is not just a tourist destination. It is not just a restaurant or shop or lakes. It's something that we take pride in. And I think the collective feelings that all of us have made it what it is today.
Just look around you. What a great time to live and be associated with Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas.
Perhaps this really is the golden age of Hot Springs and Garland County.